What's up, everybody? My name is Berke at the Trader's Vault store. I'm also a real estate agent with Realty One Group. Today, we're going to be going over what are tax liens. I get this question a lot because recently I tried to start selling some of my tax lien certificates that I bought for the first time ever in February this past year, or earlier this year. And many people, and I try to sell those certificates on Facebook recently, and a lot of people don't know what they are. So I wanted to create this video. So let's just go over the legal definition online that I found. A tax lien is a legal claim by a government entity, such as the IRS, a state or county, against your property when you have unpaid tax debts. It essentially secures the government's interest in your property until the debt is paid. So every state has different rules for this, and I'll try to kind of explain it very simple terms. Um, I'll at least explain for Arizona. So essentially, you have taxes due every year for your property, your land, your house, whatever it is. If you have a house on land, it costs a lot more. Based on the zoning of the property, it's taxed differently. So some of the agricultural lots are taxed way less versus some lots that can be built on in our residential, for example. But let's put it in first grade terms. So you own this piece of land you bought for 5, 10,000, whatever it is, and every year you owe taxes on it. Let's say it's 50 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever. Let's say 100. Let's keep the numbers simple. Every year you owe the county that the land is in $100, even if you own the land outright. And if you don't pay those taxes, the county in Arizona, at least, we have tax lien sales that which go to auction essentially every year. And the different counties auction off the lots that haven't paid their taxes. So let's say they owe $100, they didn't pay it. Now this parcel and the $100 they owe goes to auction. The way our auctions work in Arizona, you do not have to be a real estate agent to do this. You can do this as long as I believe you're a U.S. citizen or you have like a SSN or some sort of IEN or a legal entity, LLC, something that you're running it under essentially, and you can purchase the certificate for their tax. So they owe 100, it goes to the auction at $100, and the auctions don't work how you would think normally. I'll probably do another video on the auction specifically, and the auctions here in Arizona work off interest. So the $100 they owe, the lowest bid, this is the hard part to understand, the lowest bid that there's available is 16%. That's like the highest interest rate that Arizona lets a bidder charge essentially. But let's say multiple people are bidding on this property, two people. So I'm bidding on it, and so is someone else. So it's $100. We're both going to pay. I think it's actually $105. There's some administrative fees and stuff you're paying on top of the tax that they owe. So $105 we're both going to pay. Let's say I bid 15% because I want high interest on my money that I'm going to pay. But the other bidder bids 0% or 5%. They go way lower. It'll automatically give the other bidder the win at 14%, just 1% below mine because we're the only two bidders. I basically said I'm willing to go to 15%. He said he's willing to go to 5%, and it automatically puts him at 14% and wins. He wins the auction because he was basically willing to go to 5%. So they give him the win at 14. So basically, yeah, that's it. Tax lien sales. I mean, tax lien auctions. They happen every year. Every state has different laws. The way Arizona works is once you purchase this lien, there's basically two things that can happen. Either A, the person who owes the taxes now owes interest or whatever, depending on the auction who won it, and they're going to pay back the taxes with the interest or whatever fees, and then you're going to get a check from the county in your mailbox for the amount plus interest, whatever. And option B, they don't pay it off in multiple years, 3 years. For Arizona, it's 3 years. And if you don't pay it in 3 years, you can start the foreclosure process on on the tax lien that you own for that land. And Arizona has a judicial foreclosure process, and if the landowner doesn't respond or doesn't go to the court or whatever, you'll get a default judgment in your side, and you will essentially get, I believe, a sheriff's deed. Don't quote me on that part. I haven't gone that far yet, but I am trying to, learn and do this and teach at the same time. Um, but yeah, so this past year I bought a bunch of liens, and I'm trying to list a few for sale, even though I bought them for pretty cheap. I bought them anywhere from under $50 to a couple $100 per lien. Some of them are land, empty lots. Majority of them are. There are a few that are like that actually have properties built on them, like little. One of those, a few of them are trailer homes, I believe, and a couple of them are actual homes, like with foundation and everything. So yeah, this is my first time trying out tax liens, and I'm trying to also sell the certificates. So after you win the auction, which again, the auctions take up a lot of your time. I mean, you're basically just looking at a sheet of numbers, and you have to go into each parcel and kind of look at where it is, if it has road access, if it's even worth bidding on, and things like that. So it takes up a lot of your time trying to figure out the right ones to bid on. And even when you find a good list of properties you want to bid on, you might not win all of them because um, I'll go more into in depth in another video about the auction itself. But essentially, most people bid 0%, especially on the lower tax certificates that are only 50 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever, because that kind of guarantees you at least winning a few of them. Because if another person puts 0%, you put 0%, it basically rolls a dice 50-50. If three people bid 0%, it's just going to go 1 in 3 chance. You have a 33% chance of winning, and it'll just pick someone randomly. Essentially, the system's kind of automated on that part, which seemed very accurate because I remember one of the counties I put in probably like 12 bids or something like that at 0%. And I looked at the results and I think I won like 6 of them, 5 of them, something like that. And all of them had one other bidder, and the other person won those other ones. So it was kind of like they bid on all of them at 0%. I also bid 0%, but I ended up winning about 50% of the ones that I bid on. So because there was one other bidder essentially. So yeah, that's tax lien sales. So hopefully you learned a little something in this video. Feel free to subscribe, follow my journey. We are doing all sorts of investment, including Pokemon back here, which might be really funny and weird, but I'm a real estate agent. I do crypto, rentals, Pokemon, a little bit of everything. So this is about tax liens, and I will also have some follow-up videos about kind of breaking down all the properties I bought with the tax liens. Like like I said, I think I have about 30 certificates or so. And yeah, so we'll see where that takes us. Again, Arizona takes 3 years to be able to foreclose on the property. And I bought these in February, so there's still a little bit of time, a lot of time, 2 years, 10 months left. But my main inspiration for, if you're still here this long, inspiration for going into these tax liens was last year. Last year when I came up on a lot of crypto, I wanted to shift that money into land, real estate, land properties, whatnot. And I couldn't. Well, okay, I started looking at a bunch of land, and I ended up not buying because I noticed that about like 30% of the land listings up north, and again, I'm in the Phoenix metropolitan area in Arizona, but it's very nice to get out of the desert because down here we're at about 1,000 foot elevation. It's kind of like a high desert. It's very hot, not humid, very hot, dry heat. But if you drive just about 1 hour, 2 hours north towards Flagstaff, Sedona area, taking the I-17, you can easily, the elevation in Flagstaff I think is about near 10,000. So it's like it's a world of a difference from here to Flagstaff, and it's only a few hours drive, and the weather is, vastly different. It's kind of like a pine forest up there versus down here is low desert. And so a lot of the lands that I looked at are between here and Flagstaff. So I have some lots in Coconino County. I don't know if it was Apache County, but we'll go over it in another video. So if you stuck around this long and you want to learn more about tax liens, real estate, whatever, I'm your agent in Arizona. So thanks for sticking around, and subscribe to find out more about investing in all these different things.